has only fueled the speculation that the 42-year-old QB may not be done yet. So, Shannon, could you see Brees taking the Brady path to another team here?
Hell no. Drew Brees is just doing this to stay in shape. And a lot of not enough guys do that, Skip. Once they retire, they maintain the same eating habits, but they don't maintain the same workout schedule. And we see them allow themselves to get overweight and to have a multitude of diseases and end up having a lot of different surgeries and a lot of physical ailments. I think Drew Brees is doing this to maintain a level of fitness. Skip, I saw the last 3 playoff games. I don't know if you saw them, but we saw Drew Brees not play well against the Rams. We can talk about the blown call all we want to. Drew Brees did not play well. We saw the home loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Drew Brees did not play well. And then we saw the last time in the divisional round, Drew Brees was god-awful. He was terrible. So it's over. It is over. Don't show me a quarterback pushing the sled. Show me a 42-year-old quarterback throwing the deep out. Show me him throwing the comeback. Skip, I don't want to see Usain Bolt shooting a basketball and say, oh, yeah, he coming back and running the 2021 Japan Olympics. No. Skip, it's over. Let it go. Drew, there's nothing else you could accomplish. Nothing else is going to give you validation. You got 5,000-yard passing seasons. You've been a Super Bowl MVP. You're one of the great quarterbacks, one of the great players in history. Let it go, because we saw your last outing. That's it. And what we see in the playoffs, Skip, the playoffs, they're getting worse and worse every year. It was bad against the Rams. It was a little worse against Minnesota, and he just stepped off a cliff against Tampa. Skip, we saw that. Where is he going to go that have the level of talent that he would be leaving behind? Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Jerry Cook, don't know if they're re-signing him. Offensive line solid. Alvin Kamara, Murray, a defense that, where is he going to go that's better than what he has it? Hell, Sean Payton goes like, nah, bro, you're not coming back here. No, we can't have that. No, Skip, it's over. Let it go, Drew.
The only point
continue to work out and stay in shape.
Yeah, I agree. Sean Payton wants to cut bait. He wants to start over. I assume it's with Jameis. It could be with Taysom Hill. It could be a combination thereof. But I'm sorry. I saw too much good from Drew Brees during the regular season last year to say he should go home and stay home. Because, Shannon, regular season last year, he completed 71% of his passes. It was 70.5. Aaron Rodgers led the league at 70.7% completion. Well, I don't know anybody who can throw those mid-range darts any better than Drew Brees can still throw them. He's obviously turned 42 in January. But last year, he was 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Well, let's just do a hypothetical. They're about to play quarterback roulette in the National Football League. They're about to play musical chairs, and that includes the draft. Well, some team out there will get left without a quarterback, at least for the next year. Wouldn't some team take a shot with, if they don't have a young quarterback? Maybe they draft a Trey Lance, and he's just too young to start. Wouldn't you want Drew Brees to be a bridge to Trey Lance, potentially? Now, if Belichick drafts Trey Lance, then maybe you'd want to keep Cam there. But barring that, if you're Belichick, would you rather have Cam or Drew Brees for 1 year next year? Help me out on that.
Skip, Drew can't push the ball down the field.
Well, neither can Cam.
The question is, Skip, but think about, okay, Skip, you say he played too well. What have you seen in the playoffs? That's the way we measure great quarterback, especially once you reach a certain level. What have you seen the last 3 playoff games from Drew Brees?
Okay, I got it. Can't defend it, won't even try to defend it. But I did see Drew Brees last year twice outplay Tom Brady head-to-head and win the division. He led that team to a division championship, and he had Michael Thomas for, 7 total games, and Michael Thomas never looked like Michael Thomas the whole year. So I thought he was very good by regular season standards. He was better than a lot of other quarterbacks I saw during the regular season. Yeah. As you know, it's hard to find one.
But, Skip, that's not how we measure quarterbacks, the Drew Breeses, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, the Patrick Mahomes. That's not how we measure them because we know they've been great in the regular season. Now it comes time where you get your legendary status. And what we've seen over the last 3 years from Drew Brees come playoff time has been he's left a lot to be desired. Skip, Tom Brady did not leave New England because they were loaded with talent. It's just the opposite. He left because they had none. And Clyde Christensen, and maybe we talk about this, Skip, is that he said, hell, he saw what Peyton did. Well, Peyton went to a loaded team, Skip, like you said. Now, they were 8-8. They won the division. But he inherited Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, Eric Decker, Ryan Clady, who was a Pro Bowl left tackle. Offensive line was solid. No Sean Marino. They got Wes Welker in free agency. And then you had Von Miller. You had Chris Harris Jr. They were loaded defensively. Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe, Dranny Trevathan, Brandon Marshall. Skip, they were loaded.
Okay.
Just like Tampa.
All right. So who's to say that Drew couldn't find a situation comparable to that in need of a one-year bridge quarterback? I don't know. Nobody saw Tom going to Tampa. And by the way, weren't you the guy who told me again and again right here on this show that Tom Brady was pathetic in his final playoff game, and how could you ever trust him in a playoff game again?
Skip, but here's the thing. If Drew Brees is going to find a situation comparable to what Brady inherited in Tampa or what Peyton inherited in Denver, okay, I wish him all the best of luck. Because then you're going to have guys that can pick up the slack. Skip, I just don't see it. Tom's arm never looked like, even at Tom's worst, his arm never looked like Brees' arm has looked at moments in time this year. If you take Tom Brady at his absolute worst, it has never looked like Brees' arm this year.
And again, Tom Brady led the National Football League this past season in air distance thrown. And he led the National Football League in 20-plus yard completions with 36. Well, Cam struggled. Again, cupboards bare, same basically group of receivers Brady couldn't work with in New England. But Cam... Remember, his QBR last year was 30 of 33 qualified quarterbacks, and his air distance ranked 26th in the league last year because Cam was having a hard time throwing it downfield.
Well, but here's the thing, though, Skip. In that offense, Tom Brady air distance, if we probably go back and look at it, he probably ranked somewhere in the middle of the pack because in that offense, Skip, you don't push the ball down the field. Everything is screens. Everything is shallow crosses. Everything, of that nature. So it's not like Tom was airing it out with the exception of that Brees stint in which he had Randy Moss, Skip. He didn't really air it out. Now, they would air it out with a couple of trick plays, gadget plays, Skip, the flea flickers, or they would throw it to the receiver, then the receiver throw it down the field. But as far as Tom dropping back and throwing the ball down the field in New England like he did at Tampa, Skip, we didn't see that with the exception of maybe, 17, 25 games when he had Randy Moss. But, Skip, Drew, like I said, even if you take Tom at his absolute worst, you take his 7, 8 worst games that he's played over the last 3 years, he never looked like Drew did against Tampa. He never looked like Drew did in the playoffs this year, Skip. There were times that Drew, Skip, it was a struggle for Drew to throw the ball 10 yards.
Okay, but who's to say that Drew Brees couldn't take the Brady path to rejuvenation, to new challenge, new set of circumstance, change of scenery? Hey, just on guts and guile, you wouldn't want Drew Brees. If you were stuck, and there'll be 2 or 3 teams that will get stuck for a quarterback, and there'll be other candidates out there. It now sounds like Washington's about to part ways with Alex Smith, so he'll be on the market too. Would I rather have Drew Brees or Alex Smith? I'd take Drew Brees just because he's so accomplished. He knows how to do it, and he is one of the ultimate competitors I've ever seen. He will compete. He will fight you. And if you give him a new challenge where, again, he's 42 years of age, but if he says, I got to show them they were wrong, the way Brady showed Belichick how wrong he was, man, I would take a 1-year shot at a fairly low-risk salary on Drew Brees if he would do that.
Well, Skip, you have to look at, he and Brady is totally different. Brady came with 6 Super Bowls, 9 Super Bowl appearances, although Drew has the 1.
Yep.
So he has cachet, but not the cachet. It's almost like Tom Brady is the locker room whisperer. is that you hear guys talk about,
Yeah.
man, if Tom told me to walk on water, I'm like, okay, you ain't gonna, yeah, okay, I'll do that. If Tom said, you know what, man, drive my truck to the moon, okay, I'll do that.
I got it.
So, Skip, there are levels to this right now. And Tom Brady is at a level that I don't know if we've ever seen another guy leave one locker room and have the kind of cachet automatically walking in the door. Sure, there are a lot of guys that's won. Joe Montana had that at Tampa. Don't know if he had the level of talent, and maybe Joe was a little farther in decline than what Tom is. But, Skip, I don't see it. I don't see it with Drew. And like I said, I don't believe Sean Payton wants that. Because Sean Payton believes that if he